Charlie with his linguini charting. He loses sometimes, but hardly. He's BTC Charlie. But now he's GBP Charlie. It doesn't matter what he's charting. His trading is tough, but it's not all that bad with Charlie. He's got memes in the morning and more in the evening. It's Charlie. And when trading gets hard and support starts to lean, search Charlie. He's BTC Charlie with his linguini charting. He loses sometimes, but hardly. He's BTC Charlie. But now he's GBP Charlie. It doesn't matter what he's charting. His trading is tough, but it's not all that bad with Charlie. He's got memes in the morning and more in the evening. It's Charlie. And when trading gets hard and support starts to lean, search Charlie. He's BTC Charlie with his linguini charting. He loses sometimes, but hardly. He's BTC Charlie. But now he's GBP Charlie. It doesn't matter what he's charting. His trading is tough, but it's not all that bad with Charlie. He's got memes in the morning and more in the evening. It's Charlie. And when trading gets hard and support starts to lean, search Charlie.
Right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. How is everyone doing? It's Jova. Hello, it's over. Hello. Charlie, what is this price action? Let's have it. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Yeah, I mean, it's not the best market, is it? I've traded better, but yeah, it is what it is. It's just a range, right? I think a lot of people forget that we were in a simple range for quite some time before. This kind of price action is quite similar to this, right? It's not exactly the same, but it's the same kind of vibes, right? Difficult to catch anything, alts generally bleeding, blah blah blah. But we'll kind of get into that a little bit more. And I'll go through my views. Well, I don't think all hope is lost, but lots of alt charts look like utter dog shit, which is less than ideal if you are generally focused on long only. Now, some of them don't. Some of them look quite good. Obviously, I'm going to shout out to Desync on that basis. It's a nice way to segue them in and give them a shout out for sponsoring it. I did buy some more down here, and when I posted it the other day, it basically instantly ran up to 36 cents and has now pulled back with the rest of the market. Like, I don't think the whole AI in general, narrative is done. I know a lot of people are kind of talking about the deep, whatever it is, stuff, and Nvidia pulling back and all this kind of stuff, but I actually don't think that there's a better kind of Ponzi nomic and future growth potential sector for humanity. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of easy to grasp and gamble on, other than things like fusion or like cancer research or something like that, if you really want to go down the depths of it. So I don't know. I don't think the whole AI trade is done. In general, I've still got a fair bit of my AI portfolio which isn't looking too healthy at the moment. Stuff like Near as well. Which again, I was looking for this kind of trigger and play, which just never came in terms of run some of these stupid triangles, but the market's just so weak. Yeah, how are you all doing? How are you getting on in the market at this point in time? I'm always interested to hear people's views. And what I'm guessing is that this stream is going to be lower in terms of viewers, because it definitely feels like there's less people participating. Whether that's in the books, whether that's on Twitter, quite how you want to frame that. Down beyond bad. Oh shit, brother. Or sister, I'm sorry, all day. Still here. Nah, hello. Ain't never going nowhere. And it's that kind of attitude that, I don't know, there are people who come for the easy money at the end, and the only reason that it's easy is because typically people have been here for a long, long, long time. Seems like it's over. Yeah. Still here. Hello, Mark Toes. Charles. I see a lot of names. Not a lot of familiar names. Obviously we do this every week. Oh yes, I'm in a little ETH short rotation because I tried to long it and it failed, and I revenge traded and it's worked out, which is wonderful. Which I don't normally do, but we'll go over that in a minute. It's just a little, like a literal low time frame rotation. It's nothing particularly special. Good morning. So everyone's been kind of getting chopped up. Everyone's not enjoying this. Do I trade every day? Depends on conditions, depends how bored I am, depends what other things there are to do. I didn't trade yesterday, for example, because I had a blood test first thing, and to be honest, I'm useless at giving blood. Absolutely useless. So I basically felt like I was going to pass out all day, and the last thing you want is go, right, I'm going to long a decent amount here, I'm going to pass out before I set my stop, and then I'm going to wake up and I've lost, X amount of money. It's just, and making decisions while you're not 100% with it is one of the main reasons I lost money in 2018-19 when I was journaling everything and like an absolute autist, would journal my mood and everything, the hours sleep I got before. So my tiredness would massively affect my performance. If I was tired, or if I was ill and I did boredom trades and stuff like that, I pissed away so much money doing that. But you live, you learn, you grow, and that's the whole thing that they don't really tell you about trading, right? Yeah, let's jump into things. I mean, my view hasn't changed too much over the last however long, right? Bitcoin's continually chopping. Alts in general, since the start of the year, apart from the odd exception, right? Things like Trump, got XRP, we've got JUP. Alts are just taking a fucking beating. Doesn't really matter how you try and mark this up, right? I keep looking for rotations and I keep getting fucked. And, I'm at the point where I'm close to giving up, which means that it's probably closer to a bottom than it is a top, right? And the reality, and I know that's because the whole world revolves around me, obviously. But the point being that there was actually a really good chart on Pepe that I was looking at to kind of illustrate things. That if I look at, this cycle, and I'll probably tweet this out and just kind of put it out there because I think it is quite interesting. You look at the kind of high to lows on Pepe, right? And you would argue that this entire bull cycle started back here, yeah? This breakout, big volume, blah, blah, blah. Like, this was a good run, this was interesting, but it was obviously in the middle of, like, a pretty big bear market. And then we just had this choppy consolidation, nothing really great, and then bam, we suddenly get this huge risk on. You then get this 63% down move. You then get a 66% down move. So, big pullbacks. And if you look at it, like, from here, and you kind of project it forward, and let's call it 66%, it's kind of down here. We're not far off that, really. And I'm not saying, like, I'm not one of these bullshit fractal guys, right? I don't generally subscribe to, like, this kind of big high time frame fractal, right? Because lots has changed. We are, up in the 100Ks here on BTC, yada yada yada. Bitcoin looks potentially distributive, so it could pull back a lot, and it could pull back a lot more from here because we're still in this kind of potential distributive range on Bitcoin. I'll tell you why I think it isn't a distributive range of it, but the point being that if that then goes minus 30%, you can guarantee this will go further than minus 66%, which is 20% down from here. Pepe isn't going to hold up better than BTC despite the fact that it's got fucked. Does that make sense? Making decisions whilst not being fully with it is my entire trading strategy. Nice big slopper. Love to hear that. Shorts, long, everything. What do you mean, mate? It's getting to that point where shorts are really bad risk reward, right? Because the market's pulled back so much that you're going to potentially be shorting lows, and the chances of you just getting steamrolled the other side is brutal. DOGE go up and cat down for me, but my C-pool is fine and Psy. Yeah, I looked at the Psy chart earlier actually. It's again, like quite a few of these AI coins are holding up well. So like Desync, again, a stream sponsor, so shout out to them, but holding a very pivotal level. Psy was the other one that you mentioned. Obviously, you didn't mention Desync, but I'll use it. And this is one that I talked about back here, and I did invest in the private sale. I don't even know what the private sale price was, but it's not up massively, and it's vested for a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I don't know. It's got quite a long vesting period on it, if I remember rightly. I think we tweeted about here when it started breaking out. I mean, it's a bit fucking janky in terms of price action, right? But it looks alright. It's actually one of the few coins that is kind of holding and bouncing from, some pivotal levels, which is nice. Good evening. I'm a little late. Hi, a little late. I'm Charlie. Nice to meet you. Meh. Bad humor for you. Vanry looking kind of rough. Yeah, Vanry is taking the dick, my friend. I was actually looking at that chart before I came on stream, but I'll just finish this thought on there and we'll go back to Vanry. Like, a lot of alts are just getting absolutely mullered. Like, this isn't too bad, right? It's actually holding this level. If it lost this level, that's probably where I'd get out and I'd be like, well, I've creamed a decent amount if I'd held it for all this period. Basically a 2x. That's not bad. Vanry, on the other hand, looks like, looks pretty shit. I've got pretty fucked on this one, but it is what it is. It's just been down only. I think we longed it like back here, and it ran up, and then ever since it's just been down only. But this is what I mean, right? This is where there's a lot of coins that are kind of looking like back into areas where you would consider there's some form of demand, right? So I don't know how this plays out, and it's not got any relative strength, so I'm not kind of going to push this on people or whatever, even though it's one of my bags. You don't want to be buying this. You don't want to buy something that is just literally going down only. But when things start changing, and this is a lot of like my plans in general, when you start seeing that change in structure, if it's on relative strength, that's where you can start jumping in. And you you cannot be like super confident that it's going to be the bottom, but you generally get a nice rotation, even if it's just a dead cat bounce, right? Where you punish some late shorts and then just mean revert and then carry on. But yeah, Banry's not looking great. Should have sold my Pepe, now I'm stuck holding. So this is one of the things that I always tell people, and it's kind of this like recurring nightmare that I have that people just either don't listen to or just think they're like immune to it, right? It's like, this is why I call myself a trader rather than an investor. And I do invest in stuff, right? And I do invest in various projects in various different guises, right? So either seed rounds or just OTCs or whatever it might be. So I'm open to kind of doing those things. But like, I trade more and make more money trading. So for me, and the reason I put the distinction there is because I don't really see those as trades. My risk is normally 100% of the capital that I'm allocating. And even saying that, and in that process right there, I've defined my risk. And a lot of people don't define their risk. And sometimes your risk appetite changes, right? And that's allowed to happen. You're allowed to go, well, I put 10 grand in a meme coin, or in a fundamental coin maybe. So I put 10 grand in a fundamental coin. It's turned into 40 grand. So I've got 40 grand now sat in this fundamental coin that was really well placed to go into a certain meta. That meta's happened. It didn't really take off. It kind of got ignored. So I've still got 40 grand in it. What am I going to do? You know, I was going to hold this until it was $1 million. But that's looking less and less likely as the day goes on. So what do I do? How do I approach that? Like, am I allowed to change my risk management stance? Am I allowed to change my target? Am I allowed to kind of take it off? And like, for me, the answer is yeah, fuck it, why not? Because generally your thesis was this is going to bang in these conditions, and it didn't, so you take it off, right? And the same is true of stuff like Pepe or yeah, where are you wrong? Generally, like former all-time highs, and like this is why I draw lines on charts. It's never to kind of go, oh look, I'm a technical analysis guru and an expert, because I mean I'm good at it and I use it to trade, but I probably don't do everything exactly by the book. You know, you have to use your exact closes. Oh, it's got a match, at least 3 points. Nah, you're looking for areas that are interesting and stuff, and you're using it to define your own risk. You know, where am I right or wrong on this trade thesis and idea? And I'm not having a pop at you, because there's so many people in the same position, mate. So many people that just didn't know what their exposure was, that didn't calculate it. If the market goes down 50%, how much am I going to lose? You know, and it's all easy to say in hindsight, but I've always banged on about it. I've always banged on about risk management, exchange risk, as in keeping all your money on a centralized exchange. You know, I've given that lecture so many times. And everyone thinks they're immune to it because we live in a society of, like, not wokeness, well, it is quite woke, but it's the everyone's the winner mentality. You can't lose, right? You never see a movie where the villain wins, right? Everyone's conditioned that everything turns out for the best. It's kind of a weird kind of world that we live in that respect. People aren't really taught to lose. But anyway. Bull run starts now. Yeah, so I'm not having a go at you, Andy Reid. Not at all. What I hope that you can do from this lesson is literally just, I mean, it's what I did in 2017, or 2018 rather, after the 2017 bull run. You know, I thought I was immune to it. Market went like this. I cashed out like 10x what I put in down here. Ran the rest up. Was like, fuck me. I'm going to live off this forever. My smart cash nodes generating like £2,000 a day, £3,000 a day, whatever it was. You know, whilst the stack was going up like 2 or 3x a day as well. It was fucking nuts. I was like, this is brilliant. I'm in this forever. And then as soon as it went down like minus 70%, I was like, well, fuck me. That went from great to bad pretty quickly. So I cashed everything out and just started again, wrote a business plan, which was, you know, how I'm going to trade, what I'm going to trade, what I'm going to do to make myself better, what I'm going to do to kind of keep my money management in check. So, you know, if you start with $10,000 and you run up to 15,000, what happens? Do you reinvest it all? Do you take 5 out? How does that work? And really put some structure to it. I think people just see like people like me shit posting on Twitter, right? They see somebody going, oh yeah, here's a fucking chart, bosh, here's a trade idea, whatever. Like, they don't see all the work necessarily that goes in behind it. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, the bull run starts now comments. I get a bit pissed off with that, to be honest. Because people are fucking stupid, I'm just going to put it out there, if they think that we haven't been in like a bull run for like 2 years, right? Yeah, it hasn't been a super risk-on, like turbo easy bull run compared to like the end of 2017, right? It hasn't been like a parabolic, exponential growth, like, run. But you cannot tell me that no matter what fucking MA I stick on this, right? Whichever form of simple trend system I put on, it's actually not fucking bad, is it? That it's literally caught the bottom 3 times. Well, that's a Twitter post. Fuck me. Yeah, it's not been a good run. Even if it ends here, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the last 2 years being the way it is. It's been hard. I was talking to someone today actually, who was in the Barrington group, and he's kind of like, "Oh, I've not managed my risk as well as I should have." Blah blah blah. I'm not obviously going to name any names or whatever, but he said like, I can't do it anymore. I want to go back to like a real job and go for that and just do that. And I was like, look, mate, fair enough. This is, it's getting exponentially harder. We've got 32 or 36 million tokens up here. Like, back here, we had, like, 10,000 tokens. So, like, your chance of finding that needle in the haystack up here is exponentially more difficult, right? Exponentially so. And every day that goes by, it's getting harder. So, one of the best things that the space could do is shit the bed. And then we'd stop all these fucking value-extracting cunts from just coming along and launching 1 million meme coins a day, including the President of the United States. So, yeah, I'm kind of all down for a bear market, to be blunt with you. I would love for this to happen. That's not my trading, right? That's not how I'm going to position myself. But emotionally, I would kind of like to see a lot of the smug pricks try and trade a downtrend, because most people can't. So, yeah, anyway. I digress. I got a couple of questions, so we'll go for those. Do you find TA always bet on crypto has zero fundamentals compared to stocks that actually have underlying value? I don't need to be taught to lose, I was born to win. Yeah, nice. I don't trade stocks, so I can't really give that comparison from a first-hand perspective, which I'd love to be able to do. And the reason I say I'd love to be able to do it is because now whatever I say is kind of like, well, I don't really know because I've not done it, and I don't like being in a position where I've not done it, so my opinion is kind of null and void, right? I don't think it matters as much in terms of, like, how do I put it? In terms of TA and like reaction to meme levels, I think the reason that TA works is because it defines your risk parameters, and it gives you clear, consistent signals. Other than, I asked people, like, why do you think, like, what do you think is going to happen next in this chart? And they go, it's going to go up or it's going to go down. I say, why? Looks like it is. Why? What fucking bit of information is telling you that? Is it because it's just consistently gone up? Are you ignoring the fact that we couldn't, close above these highs? Did you know that kind of structure, that big run into a lower high, tends to lead to a 15% pullback 50% of the time? And the other 25 it ranges, and the other 25 it goes up? Did you know that was the distribution of probabilities? Like, or are you just looking at a chart and going, yeah, I think that looks like it's going to carry on going up, to be honest? It's about some form of structure. Support, resistance, divergences, whatever. Price action, liquidity levels, sweeps. I don't care. However you want to structure it, whatever works for you. Still believe in BERT to run? I mean, I've got a massive bag of BERT, mate. I've round tripped, I don't know, at least 500,000 on BERT, I think. What are we at the moment? Yeah, it's a pretty big number. But I think it'll run at some point. And look, I'll say this to people consistently, right? That you can't borrow someone else's conviction. So this was my meme of the cycle, and it ran really nicely for a while. It even sold off like 90%, then bounced, went back up to like the highs, pulled back, ran again for another like 3x or 4x, whatever it was, and then it's just basically died into oblivion like most of the alts, right? But yeah, I'm still holding a massive bag of it. To answer your question, so I am gonna share it on my timeline because I've got a fuck ton of it. So, and I'm not gonna dump it for like fucking peanuts down here, right? Absolutely no point. It's either dead and it goes to 0, which I'm absolutely fine with, or it runs again and we get a little risk on rotation. And we talked about Pepe earlier, right? We talked about that kind of like 66% cycle on Pepe. Now I think that that's probably how this plays out in general with altcoins. And Kobe talked about it probably a couple of years ago now, that he thinks we get kind of shorter, sharper cycles. And if you look at the Pepe chart, that's exactly what's kind of happened, right? There's these like small windows of turbo risk on, and they are weeks. They are weeks at a time. You know, up until this high, 20 days. This one's actually a bit longer, 37 days. This one, 10 days, and you could argue that, but I would argue that that's probably 10 days there, and then it's probably the breakout of the range, which is like 4 days, right? So you've really, over however long period this is, let's just go like that. So 290 days, you've really got, whatever that works out to be, 40, 50, 70 days at 291 of good trading. Yeah? Kobe has a massive brain. Well, Kobe's been here for every cycle. He's seen it through. He's like a multi-billionaire from crypto. So if there's somebody's opinion who I respect, you know, it's his. So does that kind of explain my thinking and why I keep looking for longs on memes? I've hardly done any. I've hardly taken any positions. I've hardly traded. Like, it's been really difficult. It's been really difficult to find for me to find setups that are worth taking. Like, I took an ETC long when everyone was banging on about Ethereum, right? I'm still in it. And Ethereum, in and of itself, I tweeted this earlier, you know, it's that classic, like, classic meme triangle. And I'm looking quite aggressively for reasons to get long ETH. And I shorted this here for a bit of a rotation. I can tweet my little short if you want, but it's 3159. So I piled into it when we started breaking down as well. So my average is shockingly shite because I sold here, I piled in more here, and then I piled in massively there. And I thought, right, this is gonna fucking go, because this is a big meme setup. And the thing that I want to kind of impress on people is if we were looking like that, people wouldn't hesitate to go long. People would not hesitate at all to long that. You know, in a market where, you know, the inverse would be true and we'd call it risk on, I'm just gonna hide this. You'd be like, yeah, this is pretty reasonable. We tried to break out, we failed, we're coming straight back up for that next test. Let's fucking go. Let's give it a punt. And you're essentially shorting the lows or longing the highs, but that's what breakout trading is. a lot of the time. Do you see your short setup on the Bitcoin Weekly? My lovely parabola. I'm just gonna go back to that. Yep, that's kind of what we started talking about at the start of the stream in terms of like strong run up, lower high. Yeah, weekly closes like this, it's kind of confirmed. Yes, there was a wick up here, but in terms of like structure perspective, like you can just let's just go to that one. Yeah, that's the point there, is that you've got a lower high. And similarly, you had it kind of over here. Yeah, create the big run up, break parabola, create a lower high, pull back, die for a while, and then leg it. I think the other side of things at the moment, I guess people are getting frustrated with, is that there's so much good news, and the market doesn't really seem to give a fuck. It seems to have priced it all in, and you know, even the President of the United States can't really move the needle. Nice, bro. I'm down on my memes. No point in cutting right now. Yeah, I think this is it. Like, my risk appetite was always 0 or infinity. So I was comfortable with that risk when I bought bags. I don't care if it goes to 0. I've done all right out of the market. So, you know, and it's obviously I'm very lucky to be in that situation. But it's one of those things where you have to accept the risk when you go into the position. And if you're sweating about the position or you're worried about it, you've probably put too much in. Yeah, give me the bull market back into memes. Yeah, that'd be nice. Not your simple trend indicator system. What, this one? Yeah, I don't think I published it, to be honest. Tee another bottom. What do I think about Banjo? I've got no idea, mate. I don't hold a bag of it. I've seen some of my friends in it, but like most low caps, I imagine it's getting fucked. As a surface good, I'll put my entire account 50x short and then blame me if I lose. You can do, mate, but this stream is obviously for educational purposes only, not financial advice, blah, blah, blah. Environment can be better for the market. Kind of spooky up here, though. Yeah, I think one of the things that a lot of people kind of overlook in these conditions is, and we were talking about it in the group actually, is like when the market is on fire and there's a million and one things to keep up with, people get burnt out so quickly, and people always go, man, I can't wait for a bear market. I can't wait to have the time to be able to research, to be able to refine my trading, to be able to sort my journaling out, to learn about order flow, to understand spaghetti a bit more, whatever it might be. And then the conditions come and everyone goes, this is a shit market, it's not easy. And it's just like, what? I don't know. Like, will the good times come back? Yeah. Will it be tomorrow? Probably not. Will it be a week's time? Probably not. Will it be sometime in the next year? Maybe. Will it be sometime in the next 5 years? I'd say almost definitely. You know, I think crypto is the biggest cyclical indicator of human fear and greed, right? And I don't think that's going to change. I think the thing that will change is the dynamic of all the on-chain shitcoin launches and stuff like that. It's so destructive to the space. I don't care what anyone says. Like, yes, people have made millions out of it, of course, but it's super fucking toxic overall. It's just mental, massive amounts of PvP on like low cap shitcoins, which people just, you know, full stack by the entire fucking supply on the chart at once and just wipe people out. But yeah, thinking moving one of my main positions to FARTCOIN. Yeah, I mean, again, FARTCOIN's kind of had this monumental run, and it seems very similar to oh, another bottom, local top. Okay, maybe this is all right actually, isn't it? hide that. When the bear market comes, we'll just start selling that indicator, right? £1,000 a pop. There we go. Simple retirement strategies. Yeah, I mean, it's just in a brutal downtrend at the moment, right? Yeah, it's hard to ignore FARTCOIN here. Yeah, it kind of is. Like, it's been in a brutal downtrend. Is it done? Is it over? I don't think so. And this is what I mean. It's like, I'm not lent in. I'm not like locked in or whatever yet. But I am sniffing around in the market quite actively, thinking that the next kind of major rotation is close. Sound old, man? Am I in my 40s? No, I'm not. Cheers, mate. I'm a little bit tired because I was up at fucking 4 o'clock this morning, brother. You sound old. Okay, now I'm just wise, mate. Don't confuse wisdom with age. Do I think memes can go back in? Yeah, I do. I think we get another rotation on memes. And everyone's like, oh, that's not going to happen. I'm like, okay, well, you're basically betting that the top is in on the market then. Because memes are just a reflection of greed. That's it. People get and buy stupid shit because they've got stupid money, because the market's in a stupid position, i.e. it's just going up and to the right, right? There's all this bullshit about, like, I believe in something and do all that, like with the SPX stuff. I get that, but it's kind of like, if you're looking at it as a holistic category, when the entire category is going up, it's because people are just risk on. And that risk on attitude brings with it not wanting to sell and just people buying. So it's that natural supply demand imbalance which pushes prices up. And as soon as it starts going and people start getting that taste for blood and taste for money, you know, it just goes exponentially, you know, quicker. Bro, why is this fucking Raj guy obsessed with my age? Mate. Is there a mod in the chat? Just ban this cunt. I'm in my 40s and still young. What a legend. He's from like the fucking Fed or something. Get him out of here. Get him out. Get him out. Get out of my pub. Giving up my time to get quizzed about my fucking age. Come on. Charlie, you're in your 70s? Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah, we'll take a look at PopCat. I'll try FARTCOIN the same, it's good. Yeah, I mean, this is all I'm looking at, right? Like, FARTCOIN. FARTCOIN's had really, really strong beta on low time frame rotations, or strong relative strength, I should say. You know, it goes down here quite a lot on downturns, and then it goes up here a lot on upturns, right? So you've kind of got that juxtaposition of it's very strong whichever way it goes, but that volatility, if you're catching a single trade in the right direction, you're doing well. Mods are on him, mate. He's been booted out. He's got a 40-year ban, unironically. 40-year ban. So he can see me when I'm 80. Yeah, and we've obviously got FOMC tomorrow as well. That's, you know, Christian. Look, well, I've butchered your surname, but yeah. Pounds DOGE tomorrow. ETH will pull alts out of hell. If not, see you all after the halving. Yeah. Could I put in my chat the link to spaghetti just for you, brother? Just for you. But yes, I will put it in there. I should probably put it in the chat in general. I have like a command or something to do that. If you guys show me a bit of love and give me some subscribers and all that kind of wonderful stuff, then I'll be more inclined to do so. But there you go. There it is. So yeah, how do I trade? What I often do is, let's talk about FARTCOIN, right? Let's plan a trade on FARTCOIN together. Let's do this now, because this will give you a really good kind of insight as to how I structure trades. So let's start off with like weekly, and let's start going through it. Bearing in mind, like, we have to put a little bit of context on this. So the context of this, what the fuck are my indicators working? Fuck you, Trading V. What's this shit? Let's reload it, see if it works. There we go. Right. So, for context, this is a reasonably new coin, so we haven't got huge amounts of price action to go off. So I can't really make anything out of that weekly chart, unfortunately. But let's kind of look at the daily. It's just sold off absolutely brutally. 4 hour, if you squint, there's a divergence across here and there. Now, the reason I wouldn't trade this divergence actively is because it's not in an extreme, right? So it is a div. It's not great. It's kind of played out a little bit. It's not very clean, like all this space here, right? There's also no real confluence with this, which is the awesome oscillator. So it's kind of, flat. Now, what I want to see to kind of enter a fresh position is something like this. And we'll just go through it together, and I'll talk you through each step of the process, because whilst we've got a little divergence there, it's not enough for me to jump in on a 4 hour basis. So I need to start going into lower time frame, and I appreciate the context, right? Strong downtrend. So I'm just going to delete all of that because I understand that it's in a strong downtrend. I don't need a couple of lines to fucking tell me that, yeah? I need to start thinking, where here am I going to be, because this is messy, I'm actually going to use this. Where here am I going to be kind of not confident that it's starting to reverse, but is there a good chance that this huge sell-off into a range, into a kind of reversal, how can I possibly be confident that that's going to lead to this kind of move? The answer is, I'm never going to be, right? I'm never going to have perfect confidence that that's going to happen. But what will give me huge kind of confluence to that thought process is if on low time frame spaghetti, and I'm hoping it's kind of going to be pretty reasonable. Hello, BERT's up there at the moment, but guess not. Let's go to the local lows. Okay, so the FARTCOIN is one of the better performers on this current rotation. So that's really good. That's really good for me, because if we start thinking about if the market is holding up reasonably, and if Bitcoin isn't, going to just shit the bed, which we've kind of gone over and it looks like it's just ranging, then I need to kind of structure my trade around this being very, very strong, but also some levels. And the more astute of you will notice that I put the RVP on. The reason I did that is because the range isn't particularly clear, right? It's not like, it's quite clear at the highs in terms of this, but at the lows, it's a little bit messy in terms of like, is it here, or is it kind of here? And for me, like this is starting to be a really like aggressive trade, right? And I kind of liked the original view a little bit, which is like this, because for me this makes the most sense of this being a deviation. We've taken out any stops down here, and if we start getting a good reaction and we start climbing above, then this is the rotation. This is the rotational play that I want to be taking, right? Especially if it's on high beta, or high relative strength, I should say. Does that make sense? So we've established a range. We might not put that as our target. We might actually do something like this. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to let it do this and do that and then round trip and stop us out, right? We're going to have essentially an alert here. It's like target 1, target 2, right? And we'll monitor the reaction there if we're about. If not, we'll just take half off, move stops up to whatever local price action makes sense. We'll carry that trade on. We'll follow it through. But we have to kind of be cognizant that we're trying to catch a bottom here, basically. It's quite an aggressive trade, this one. But does this make sense to you? If you put it a different way, like this is where the market consensus for value is, and this is something that Magus teaches far better than I ever will. So, bear with me on this. But if you look at the volume profile of where volume is done locally on FARTCOIN, this is the point of control. So this is where the most volume is done, as you can see by this node. And essentially, if we can reclaim that, and I always think of it as like, this is where the biggest battle of value between buyers and sellers is. So this is where the kind of next leg of the market is usually decided, because that's where everyone goes, I want to sell it here, and I want to buy it here. So you get this huge friction, right? And that huge friction causes this spike. And because of this, whenever price gets there, you would kind of expect the same stalling to happen, yeah? And then if price cuts through it, you can be pretty, not confident, because I don't want to say, I'm really confident this is going to happen, but the probability of it flowing through and flowing upwards, where there's not as much quote-unquote debate in the books about the value, is much better. So that's a really kind of simple thought process to get to an end trade, to hopefully make use of some of the beta that's available. Did you all find that helpful? Was it too much? Was there any questions? Very helpful. Now I'm liquidated. Basically, TA hot air rises. Yeah. Everyone farts, so that's the reason. But that's my thinking. That's my thought process. Now, sometimes I will get a little bit more aggressive. I will, like, if it's quite good at the moment in terms of like relative strength, So in terms of like execution, I might clip in a little bit here, clip in a bit here, clip in a bit here, try and get my average down a bit to here. But as soon as we start losing structure, as soon as we start like losing this, that's when I want to be out of it, right? So I can, and particularly in more aggressive environments. So like if you compare this to, let me try and think, you compare like this trade and thought process to like when I was trading in these conditions, right? Trading in these conditions, I was just super aggressive. Like I'd be in and out of trades constantly, because I knew that, I didn't know it was going to keep going up, but I knew that we broke out of like a reasonable kind of stretch of not doing much, right? And this is kind of like the market agreed, the kind of value oscillated between these levels, and now it's trending. And as soon as you go from a ranging market to a trending market, that's when you need to be a bit more aggressive, I think, in terms of trying to get some of the better entries. The better entry you get, the more likely it is that you're going to be able to hold that entry for longer and catch more of the run, etc., etc. So trading around the extremes and being a little bit more aggressive in terms of your entry is, far more appropriate. Whereas right now, whilst I'm looking at this chart thinking, I wouldn't be surprised if I wake up tomorrow and that was the bottom and that was a deviation and we start reclaiming and we go, I know that because of the weak conditions that we're in, the fact that it hasn't done it already isn't boding too well. The sort of speed of the tape in terms of how quickly things are moving, it's not quick enough for me to warrant being so aggressive with my positioning. And I would rather jump in later than try and sort of aggressively position in a market that is massively on the defense and, won't take kindly to my aggression. Just check Simon's cat. Yeah, 0, mate. I don't have a bag, so it's kind of 0. Yeah, look at that. Straight to 0, boys. Straight to 0. It's a shame. Had the IP and everything. No, I mean, it's just stuff like this, right? Like, literally, like, set an alert up here somewhere. Forget about it. Assuming you're not back holding, right? If you're back holding, yeah, this looks like fucking dog shit. But if you want to actually trade this, set a alert up here somewhere, maybe a bit more aggressive. That's just gone off because I'm retarded. You know, actually stick it where it doesn't trigger it. But stick it there. If it starts setting up, you know what we're doing. So if we get a very bullish FOMC tomorrow, then maybe that's what kicks the next leg into action. But yeah, like anything like this, it's just I don't want to be holding this because it's massively downtrending. But it's also, this is where you start, in my opinion, start thinking about levels where either you just want to blind buy things. Let's see a kind of more stable example. So something like Woo. So you might want to buy a bag of Woo, right? Knowing that at some point, as a decent decentralized exchange, it's probably going to come back. Yeah, so it's going to probably range like this, and if we get another like proper bull market, i.e. everything's just on the rise, it's going to go. But this is a long-term investment of your capital, and you're tying up a chunk of your portfolio in this. So the time cost of it is quite a lot. Whereas if you've got something that's moving, at least you'll either be stopped out very quickly, right? And then you can move on and invest it somewhere else. Or it runs and you get that multiple, and then you can do it again, and then you do it again. And by the time this has actually moved, you've already run 3 of the same setups on your cash, which is why I always like going for things that move quickly. Yeah, look, FARTCOIN just ripping unironically. Maybe it's just over. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Would you cut if you're holding from 30% higher? Like, I can't give you like financial advice. Like, that's not what I'm here for. Like, if I find a bag like that, I make a decision to either write it off completely or just cash it out, because it depends on your thesis for originally kind of getting into it. And this is why I think it's really important. Why did you buy that bag in the first place? So like I'll talk about BERT, because BERT's one that hasn't gone well for me, even though it's had some really nice runs. Where is it? So I don't mind talking about it because I think it's going to come back. I think it's a good meme. I think it's a dog meme. I think there's plenty of decent people who have got bags. I think as soon as we start a form of meme run again, I think it'll do alright. But I could be wrong, right? What would be a bullish FOMC? I don't know, that's why I deliberately just called it a bullish FOMC, right? Because it doesn't really matter what they say, it's how the market reacts to it. And I'm not clever enough on a macro perspective to understand all the nuances of, oh, we're going to cut rates 4,000 times in the next 3 minutes. Is that bullish or bearish? It's both. But the market will be the ultimate arbiter of it, right? And I'm not gonna pretend I understand it all. It's probably short-term bullish, 0% interest again, but long-term, well, destroys the dollar. But anyway, can I turn 1k into 1 million this late in the cycle? Of course you can. Chances of doing it slim to none, but it's possible. It's possible to do it all the time, right? Every single day there's a coin that probably launches and goes to 20 million or something. Grab a little bit of that, run it up, do the same the next day, do the same the next day. You're probably a millionaire. What do you think about LOL holding a bag? Oh, I'm not holding the bag, mate. Can't find divergence RSI. Is that private? Yeah, mate. It's just one of the Paragon indicators. Depends how many time power coughs. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna go over a little bit more on like Bitcoin. I haven't really talked about my trade plans on Bitcoin, because the other side of it is, from a momentum perspective, we're definitely dying off. The one thing that I'd kind of want to see on this to get really bearish is another drive up, so like a classic kind of 3 drives pattern off here. We've got kind of the complements anyway with with the current 3-day RSI, but it's quite extended over these highs. And if you got this push up on the weekly, then you get quite a nice div going up here. And if you either swing fail this high, or we just go up, we break above this level, and we fail to close above, that's going to be the kind of short of the century for me. I'm kind of currently short from 105 something on BTC, and I said like liquidate me you pussies on the timeline yesterday. So far not happened, but yeah, that for me, just utter weakness, would be the one trade. Now the other trade on the long side, which I would much prefer to take, is the kind of common one of come down here somewhere. I think if we test this again properly, like the 100k region, then it's probably just going to come down to like the 90s, maybe even like high 80s again, and do something like this. Maybe we get this play again, but obviously a much deeper cut, similar to this kind of price action here and here. And I know that was the JPY carry trade, but still the same thought process of, oh, it's just a range, don't worry, we're going to break out of it soon. This isn't great. And then, oh fuck, the whole market's fucked. And then we just consolidate a bit and then we run it again. So I am bullish over a longer time horizon. I just think this is going to chop you up, or chop a lot of people up. And like that same example on Pepe that we talked through, in terms of what 70 days out of basically 300 are the kind of high reward days. Now you could argue like this and maybe that one and stuff like that, but we'll just keep it simple for now. That in and of itself, I think highlights an awful lot. Looking forward to more Paragon indicators. Should do one on stock RSI. So, I mean, this is a perfect example, right? A lot of people are like, they disengage from markets. I'm going, okay, well, I wanna take a step back and go back to my old style of trading a bit more, and that was more high time frame. That was 4-hour and daily charts, less spaghetti low time frame rotations, which they are incredible. I've had a lot of success with them, and it's a great way to trade, but it's very intense. Requires 12 hours a day in front of the screen, and I'm 40 now, according to Raj. I'm getting on a bit. I don't really want to be doing that anymore. I don't need to do that anymore, to be blunt. I could take a couple of decent trades every now and again on a 4-hour time frame and just let them play out as they will. And probably I wouldn't feel as comfortable doing it, because one thing that's bizarrely for me, the more I've grown financially, the less risk I've been happy to hold overnight. And that sounds really weird, because I need the money less than 5 years ago, or fuck me, it's not 5 years ago, is it? It's like nearly 8 years ago when I started crypto. Jesus Christ, I'm old now. But I prefer being in and out of the market and just getting my job done. I'm not carrying a load of risk overnight and being like, oh, I wonder where my Bitcoin position is. Oh, I wonder where this is. I haven't done XRP yet, mate. XRP is doing alright though. One of the few bags that actually looks like it hasn't thrown itself off a fucking bridge. Feel the same way? No idea? Yeah, I got no idea. A lot of people will tell you, oh, it's definitely going up, or it's definitely going down. I'll just fucking play both sides. I want it to go up. I want there to be another rally of meme coins. I think the thesis for that is solid. I think there will be something that, catapults crypto into the mainstream again for a short period, and that short period you'll make more money trading that, 1 week, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever it turns out to be, period, than you will probably, the next 2 months, assuming that it doesn't happen in that period. So, or maybe not 2 months, but the last couple of months. Actually, no, it's been quite good up until like Trump started rugging people, I guess. 5 years ago when you were 35, exactly. Thoughts on Bitcoin dominance? It's a really good question. And this is one of the things that I think is going to be a symptom of the dispersion of liquidity. We talked about this last week on stream, right? And it's not really moved too much, but this was the thought process that it was last Tuesday. This is the thought process that if you were looking at this chart from a daily perspective, and I will just delete all of the brushwork because it's not great, but if you're looking at this, like, to me, there was a strong Bitcoin run, huge sell-off as we rallied a load of alts, and now we're kind of pulling it back, and as soon as we flipped over this like 58% level, it started to get really strong again. And for me, that's kind of like a signal that it kind of confirms my belief that, well, firstly, altcoins haven't been too good, which we talked about already. They're going down and to the right, with only a couple of them outperforming BTC. And actually, Bitcoin dominance. This is how, like, I want to be denominating my portfolio really in Bitcoin, because I do not think the Bitcoin run is done. I do think alts are getting exponentially worse. Can't hold as long as in deeps I used to. Are we still talking about trading and bags? Terminator. Where are you conducting business on ETH? That's a very good question. So I'm actually conducting business on it right now. And I was shorting here at 3159, and as soon as we started getting this, I took some off the table. But I might go back in. I might pull that average entry down to something if we don't start rallying a bit more. But ideally, this is where it holds. So it's a little bit early for me to jump in along, because I really, I don't want to be the first one to jump in along. I will happily join the party up here, or when we reclaim something like this and we break out of a diagonal trend and things start happening, right? Things start getting a bit sexy. But we could argue that this is a higher low. But yeah, I'm not that aggressive on Ethereum, which has disappointed me too many times. You won't trick me again. Did you hear Elon tweeted about XRP this morning? Something like XRP seemed pretty cheap or some bullshit. It was up for 20 seconds, then quickly deleted. No, I haven't actually. Also dominance, sort of inverse ETH BTC. Yeah. Can you do XRP in a little bit more detail? I want it to go up. I mean, it's going up, mate. That's it. Done. Don't need to do anymore. There's no technical analysis indicator or any of that bullshit that it's going to just simply tell you it's going up and to the right. But, I mean, look at ETH BTC. It just looks like such a big sack of dog shit. And there's a load of potatoes on Twitter that will go for the bottom, the glory of the bottom logger. That's just not me. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't need the glory on Twitter to be like, oh, look, I'm on the Schmeeko bottom of ETH BTC. If it goes like this and we actually get a bit of a run on ETH BTC, I'll make more money long in there to there on ETH, or the equivalent of the ETH, US dollar price, than I would trying to fuck around down here. But I mean, it just looks like a big sack of steaming shit, which we've said multiple times on this stream, right? I've always slacked off ETH BTC. Always. I've said a couple of times, oh, there's some divergences. Maybe this is the time when it stops watching its wife get fucked, like the big cuckold ETH is. But that's never really happened. I'm worried about altcoin with countries, hedge fund buying Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance will never drop or what? Yeah. We need QE for alts to send. Yeah, exactly. Like, let's just burn the rest of the world down. Like, let's unleash another virus or something. Get COVID going again. You know, get Divock going, which is COVID backwards. Send that out. We'll call it the British virus. And don't actually do this, by the way. Don't fucking FBI me or whatever. But yeah, lock the world up for another couple of years, print a load of money, send all our bags again. Happy days. Spend all day playing computer games with your mates because they're not working. I'll eat pat soup if I'll put my bags. What a legend. That is taking one for the team. Well done. Well done, Christian. I like that kind of attitude. Very, very thoughtful. Drains and radiators in this world, people. Drains and radiators. And you are evidently a radiator. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say. Like, to be honest, the trade that was there, which is, you know, again, really fucking larpy and hindsight analyzer, it's this consolidation here, and I didn't have this marked up or anything like that. But you got this going into that. Let's see if it is. Ooh, bit of a false signal. No, it's not good. That one, is it? We'll hide that. We won't include that one in the promo video. But yes, that was kind of the potential place for a trade, and now everything I'd just be looking around that 28377 or whatever, somewhere around like anywhere between here and here. Like you get down to there, like I'm out east, you know what I mean? And the reason for that is you're starting to diverge over a higher time frame. So again, let me just. I didn't want to do that. It's starting to diverge over that like weekly time frame across these highs, and this reminds me an awful lot of DOGE, which I had a massive position in. I caught the bottom of it before the breakout. Magas kept dunking on people with his DOGE position, and I was like, yeah, I know, mate. I was in it 2 weeks ago. I always took joy at that one. Where was it? It was like way back here. Oh, these are shit. What's this? Oof. Actually, no, that was alright. That was a fucking local top. That was close to one. No, that's not too bad. That's pretty good. And that's pretty good. I mean, that's not perfect, but indicative. Anyway. It was in here. So it was this divergence across these highs, and it might have been on the 3-day. Yeah, there it was. Like this. So you had a really strong move, a bit more of a pullback, I guess, than XRP has had. But this, and this is cleaner, by the way. This is definitely cleaner than XRP. But that's why I'm like, do you know what? Can play the trade a couple of times. If it goes, like, let's pretend this is the XRP chart, just for a second, so I can't be bothered to move. Let's say it goes below the level and you sell and you go, great, I'm out of that, and then it reclaims. You can always long it again. Do you know what I mean? The Ethereum Foundation selling ETH is criminal. I mean, I don't think it is. I think it's naive of people to be like, oh yeah, thanks for creating like DeFi for us where we could make millions of dollars and all these smart contracts and stuff. Your technology is amazing. But by the way, don't cash out because I need to cash out first. Like, let me make money even though you did all the work. Thanks. Do you know what I mean? Like, I haven't got a fucking problem. It's not like they launched it with no product and then went, right, I'll have 100 million thanks cunts, and then walked away. They've really delivered something. So yeah, I kind of don't agree. I mean, I'll take the piss out of the Foundation on the timeline, right? But I'm not going to crybaby about it. But yeah, I would be slightly cautious on the old XRP. But it's holding up very well. Charlie, do you think short term we need more correction? I think my answer to that would be I don't know what we need. We need more fucking buyers. That's what we need. We need more people to stop fucking selling their coins and buy more of this shit so that I can sell all my bags. Right? That's what we need. But do we need a certain amount for us to go up or down or whatever? It's not. That's not how my brain works. That's not how my brain sees this market. I kind of explain my thought process for why I think we'll get a bit more of a correction through the Pepe chart, right? Through the fact that we've typically had like 66% pullbacks, 63, 66, that would be what 66 is. It's somewhere down here, so basically retrace this entire move, probably consolidate for a bit as volatility dies, which is what tends to happen after these moves. Particularly like this one here, like volatility died for a period, so and then bosh, go again. That would be my theory, right? That's what I think is going to happen. Does that mean I'm going to trade off this arbitrary squiggle? No, I'll fucking see you in a couple of weeks' time on a stream, and we'll be looking at this, and we'll either go, Jesus Christ, Charlie, fuck that, because Pepe's up here, or oh my god, we're back down into fucking Ghost Town, in which case probably none of you will be here. It'll just be me talking to maybe 2 or 3 of you. There's just Bitcoin right now? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you look at this. This is why I love spaghetti. It's pretty much, if you're holding Bitcoin, you're pretty unaffected. And if you're in like one of 5 alts, you're doing okay. If you're in any other altcoin, you're not having a fun time. If you're on chain, it's just a casino, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, I gamble in the casino, obviously, but yeah, hopefully my explanation of FARTCOIN is like a really good example of what I'm looking for like the next rotation and how I want to play that. Again, see, here you go. So let's say I was in the aggressive trade. As soon as we came down to here, I probably would have dropped out of it. So hopefully you understand that thought process, because I would want to have seen positive market structure and a trending move, i.e. aggressive recovery of this, and that is not what we are seeing. So it's kind of like choppy price action, which is why I'm not trading as much. It's hard to read. Frog chart wigged you out. Stupidly sold the low the other day. I mean, it's one of those where, like, I sold, I bought in at 50 something, I think. Maybe it was 40. Maybe it was up here. I can't remember if it was. I don't think it was. Maybe it wasn't in the 50s. I think it was somewhere here. I think it was like this rotation. I think I bought in this rotation. So maybe it was like 45 or something. And then I ended up selling it down here and getting basically cucked on it. And then as soon as it started to kind of run up back up to the 50s, yeah, that must have been it. Run back up to the 50s, I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, I've literally just chopped myself up in a little range, like a little bitch. And I was like, whatever, fuck it, I'm not buying it again. And ever since, it just went up, down only. Absolutely mental. Yeah. %90 from the highs. But that's what I mean. It's a lot of memes are fucked. Bitcoin and Ondo keeps being bought. Yeah. You forgot everyone like XRP when you don't know. I don't think so, because he's still very much kind of in play. Do you know what I mean? Whereas XRP wasn't. I think XRP really did catch people off guard. Now I want to see ETH have some strength, because it's good for all of our bags. It's good for the general health of the market and so on. But yeah, I'm not super positive for it. If I was being aggressive, I'd position here, but I just don't want to be. Like I said, ETH has disappointed me every single time I've traded it like this. I think tomorrow will be very indicative of whether we risk on or risk off after FOMC. Very indicative of it. Bought Fog at 30 million, happy with it, but man, it hurts. Thanks for answering your cues. No, that's alright, man. Honestly, this is why I do it, right? The more you ask questions, the more you're gonna get from it. And the more content I get, I suppose, selfishly. Today, Jova, tomorrow, Joverist. Yeah, I mean, whether we just get a bit of light relief because it's been down only for so long, that's quite probable. But how to position in that is the real key question, right? You can't just go, oh yeah, I think it's going to go up. It's like, well, where do you buy? Where do you sell? What's your invalidation? It is pretty much this if you're taking the trade, right? The problem is, with FOMC tomorrow, you'll probably get wicked out of it and you'll have to go again. So you'll take the loss, because it'll wick you out, bosh, and then it'll come back and go. So, market outlook McDonald's. No, I don't think so. Like, I'm not... I want to be really clear on how I think the next couple of weeks, months, whatever, play out like. Tomorrow could be a good catalyst, right? Could also be a bad one. ETH is at like a real high time frame, pivotal level. Like ignoring all of this, you have a real kind of shot at breaking a strong downtrend. So if I just ignore that, because it kind of fits my bias a bit better. You got like all of this kind of going across however you want to mark it out. Like I actually think the level is like here, but you know, whatever. I think I marked it out over here before because it's just local price action. But either way, it's the former highs over here, blah blah blah. This low, etc. Again, this is what I mean. TA is a little bit subjective. But either way, it's very similar to you know. It's not great, but very similar to FARTCOIN in terms of its downtrending, down to the right. Until that changes materially, I'm just not that interested. I can probably make this line fit a bit better. There you go. So I don't want to be longing into a downtrend and getting fucked every single time, but I do think that changes. And I think the whole strategic Bitcoin reserve narrative, right? If I game theory that out, why the fuck would Trump... So there's two schools of thought, right? I'm going to go full tinfoil hat here. First one is the whole executive order that he did, essentially making it so that America doesn't have to sell Bitcoin, that it's legally acquired from, you know, illegal activity. So it's confiscated from criminals. It's because it has a fuck ton of it on its balance sheet. So it can now do whatever it sees fit. Yeah? So it can hold it. It also encourages them to go after crypto criminals and confiscate their vast hoards of money, because that's probably a more effective revenue stream if they can get it working than trying to work out people's tax liabilities of, you know, Dave the plumber who's earned $2,000 on crypto, or you might owe some tax. Come on, Dave, cough up your 200 quid. They can go after cunts that have rugged millions and go, yep, cool, I'll have that. Thanks. So that's one thing. The second is, why the fuck would you go and announce to the world that you want a strategic Bitcoin reserve for your country that's going to push up the price of the asset that you want to buy, right? Yeah, you say it as part of your speech, and then you come out and go, oh, no, that's probably not going to happen. So price dips, you fucking buy it, and then you come out and go, psych, bought a fuck ton of it. Happy Strategic Reserve Day. And then everyone goes, wee, and then countries start piling in. You know, El Salvador kind of led the way. Other countries think, oh, fuck, we've got to kind of do this now. Bum. Tinfoil here for that. Yeah, I mean, this is just like my mental brain kind of kicking off on different things, but it is the, like, everyone was expecting them to just be like, oh yeah, by the way, we bought like $1 billion worth of Bitcoin yesterday. And it's like, why would you, like, no. Like, well, sorry, we're going to do a strategic Bitcoin reserve, we're going to buy like $10 billion worth. Like, surely you would not announce it to the market pre-fucking buying it. You're just going to put a premium in it. And evidently, when we got that news the other day, and it was, you know, that sell-off, like when we got that sell-off, that's because they said, oh no, it's not. So now they're getting their Bitcoins for $8,000 cheaper. you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's what I'd do. But anyway. Anyway, I'm going to do a couple more questions and then I'm going to head out. But we've got some good stuff on this stream, I think. We've covered high time frame conditions, covered a good Pepe fractal, which is my thoughts around altcoins and rotations. I've shown you how I trade rotations, which is probably a little bit more than I should have showed you, but whatever. Hopefully you at least have the courtesy to like the video and subscribe and do all that kind of stuff afterwards, as a little mini thank you. And yeah, we'll just go to a couple of questions and then I'll go. Genuine question: when you say like XO, it really comes level, press the trigger, go long. Do you wait for a candle close or everything, or just press buy? I don't wait for candle closes, so I'm much more about the kind of things I was talking about earlier, which is just go to a random chart. So you're looking for this, bosh. You're looking for the speed of it, the recovery. Is it like that? Is it like this? Is it slow and steady? Is it fast? Does it have relative strength? You know, I will watch candles do this that I'm buying into. I'm not necessarily waiting for a candle to arbitrarily close over here. It's more about the flow and how is it comparing to the rest of the market, right? So if it's strong and it's reclaimed the level, your level gives you the invalidation. This gives you the fact that you should be longing it, and that's kind of it, really. And then if things start going against you, you have to kind of think before you're entering the position of, okay, I want a $10,000 position at this level. Okay, well, is that 333 here, 333 here, 333 here, or whatever, or 3333? But you get my point. Like splitting it a third, a third, a third. Am I aping in 100% there? Am I doing half here, half there? What's the execution method? And that will change different. That will change based on two things: one, the depth of the book; two, the overall conditions of the market; and three, just my general mood, probably. So yeah, it's kind of all of that. I'm not waiting for a fictitious close on low time frame rotations. On high time frame, on the other hand, so like if I was taking this as a 12-hour chart trade, then yes, I would need a 4-hour candle close in, or 12-hour candle close in there, right? Because I need it to be, locked in. Whereas low time frame rotations, completely different. So it's two answers, both quite detailed. Ethan going to Trump Tower, finish buying, maybe. Oh man, every top spin around November, April. Do you think this time was different? Probably not. Like I said, I think there's one leg left in the market. I think it'll be an explosive leg if it does indeed come to fruition. If it doesn't, then this was the top. If they will never sell until 2030, everyone will still sell before then, like hedge funds, other countries, etc. I mean, I think a lot of people have like a real misconception about how kind of stockpiling works and how markets work in terms of price sensitivity versus like actual value. And what I mean by that is a lot of meme coin mania is because nobody wants to sell, right? Nobody wants to sell. A few people want to buy, maybe not many, and price just keeps going up. So like let's envisage a scenario, right? Like, I don't know, let's try and explain it like this. So we've got the price, we're just going to chart it like here, right? This is our charting area. And there's 10 of us, and there's like 10 ducks. And we've all got a duck. And the ducks start at $3, yeah, it's the standard price of a duck. I've just bought a duck off someone for $3, happy days. So that is the current market price of a duck. But we all hear this wonderful rumour that ducks everywhere else in the world are fucking dead. There's only 10 ducks left in the world, right? And we've got them. What's going to happen to price? Bosh. It's going to go up, isn't it? But no one's selling anything. No one wants to. But suddenly someone goes, do you know what? I'll sell it for 4. Nah. I'll sell it for 5. Nah. I'll sell it for 7. Yeah, go on then. Like, I'll buy it for 7. I'll buy it for 7 off you. Alright, great. So we've locked in a trade there. So price goes up like this. Bosh. Yeah? And to move, like, our little duck market, it's only one transaction. Now, the reason I'm kind of saying it like that is because if you then say, actually, that was bullshit, there's 800 million other ducks in the world, and nobody really gives a flying duck, You know, everyone's trying to sell and rushing out. I'll sell it to you for 6. No, I'll do it for 5. I'll do it for 4. I'll do it for 3. I'll do it for 2. I'll do it for 2. I'll do it for 150. Bosh, bosh, bosh. You know, you might have only made 2 sales. 1 duck up here, 1 duck down there. Don't know why I chose ducks. Whatever. Probably says something about me. But the psychology of supply and demand and psychological wants and needs, like, yeah, a country might stockpile a fuck ton, but whatever active market participants at the time are dictating the price of Bitcoin, you know, all it takes is one big sentiment blow off for it to go from 102 to 80. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's only a couple of participants, maybe, that's causing this big sell-off or whatever, and vice versa. Same can be true in uptrends. So people have this kind of warped view in my mind that just because Sailor's buying of the metric fuck ton and probably propping up prices generally, you know, once that's done, you've then got these windows where price can kind of just do whatever the fuck it likes. I'm not saying it works like that, right? It's far more complicated than that, but that's my little simple brain, my little simple way of thinking about it. Some good short content in this stream. Yeah, true, actually. There's probably quite a good few little lessons in this that I could clip up. So a game, yeah, I play a bit of World of Warcraft. I haven't played Marvel Rivals yet. One of my friends, Ruck, keeps begging me to play it, but I've installed it, but I haven't actually played it yet. Paid £12 for a quarter duck last night. So, I mean, I was massively underpriced on my ducks. There you go. But I think that's the point, is like, it's the supply, the demand, the psychology that really play a part in the market price of things. Where did I learn to trade? The market, my friend. Years of experience talking to people, and I'm still learning, which is something that a lot of people are always surprised at, right? I'm like, well, I'm still learning because the market is constantly evolving. There's always new and different things to do in the market, and as a result of that, I think it makes you a better trader if you're always trying to learn. But anyway, if you want to learn, I'll do the honourable thing and say shout out to the Paragon. I think it's genuinely a good time to join, because we've got hours and hours and hours of content in there, like all the stuff that I've kind of gone through, but a lot more Magus and Doc stuff as well. And we're, you know, an active community, not just talking about trading. Like, we've had quite a few people, you know, be open and honest about their losses, and I think we've helped them through it. You know, I've over-risked on this, or whatever. I need to learn these lessons. How have you done it before? How are you handling this? So yeah, I'm pretty proud of what we built. We've been doing it for 3 years. So if you are looking for something to do with your time, now is the best time, I would suggest, to focus on the education, the actual process and theory side of it, whilst the market is quieter. Because everyone always says, when they're in this mode, fuck, I wish I had some time. And then when it comes to this mode or this, everyone goes, oh, well, I'll just go and do something else then. And I always think you have to play the game on hard mode to really feel the benefits of easy mode. But that's just me. So on that bombshell, I will love you and leave you all. And yeah, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for liking and subscribing. Thank you all for the smart questions and the genuinely engaging and thoughtful content that you're bringing to me. So, yeah, I will love you all and leave you all. Until next time.
He's BTC Charlie with his linguini charting. He loses loses sometimes, but hardly. He's BTC Charlie. But now he's GBP Charlie. It doesn't matter what he's charting. His trading is tough, but it's not all that bad with Charlie. He's got memes in the morning and more in the evening. It's Charlie. And when trading gets hard and support starts to lean, search Charlie.